The Private Security Industry Regulatory Authority says it's received complaints about the conduct of some security officials during the unrest and looting in parts of the country. The complaints range from racism, intimidation and harassment. An investigation into videos showing people being allegedly shot by members of a security company is also being probed. Joining us now is the Regulatory Authority's CEO, Manabela Chauke. Mr. Chauke, thank you so much for your time on the lead this afternoon. So the conduct of the security companies has been under the spotlight, with security personnel being accused of a number of things. As a private security industry, how are you dealing with these complaints?
Thank you very much, Clement, and good afternoon to your viewers. We indeed have received several complaints that we are investigating. Mainly, we are investigating complaints, as you've mentioned, regarding the abuse of power, the use of firearms that were not used properly, and so on. So basically, our investigations are ongoing at the moment, but we are finalizing an investigation currently regarding the video that's been doing the rounds in the social media regarding some of the abuses that you saw on that video.
And the people that have complained to you as an industry, in which areas are they coming from?
We have met with some leaders of communities in Bambai, Phoenix, Verulam, as well as Umlazi on Monday. We are yet to meet with some of the victims in those areas as well. So that's in the main areas that we're focusing on. But generally, the specific video that we're investigating, we haven't per se looked at specific victims in that. As the police, you might know that they are investigating certain matters as well as crimes that happened in that area. So we are investigating the companies that are actually in that video.
Yeah, and the people that you have spoken to, those that have complained, what have they shared with you? We're talking here over 20 people that were murdered in Phoenix, and we still don't have the answers. What have they managed to share with you?
Well, as I said, that is the investigation that is being done by the police with regard to murder. We are investigating the conduct of those security companies. One of our investigations is concluded. The first part of it, at least, is concluded, and we have handed it over to the police. So we are expecting that in a not so short, in a short while, there should be some action from the police on that one, and others we're still looking at it. I must say that we haven't interviewed as yet specific complainants in these matters. As we said, we just recently met with leaders, and we are expecting to see those complainants in the course of this week and next week.
Yeah. Help us understand how private security is meant to conduct itself. There are some personnel that were creating roadblocks in some areas, brandishing ammunition. I mean, they don't have the authority to do that.
You're quite correct. They don't have the authority to do that. But you might know that there are communities that have been permitted by some municipal laws to erect boom gates and so on. Those ones are legal, and some of them are illegal. But in the main, private security do not have the right to man roadblocks. They don't have the right to search individuals or to harass anyone or to ask anyone, where is he going, and so on. I mean, everyone might know we've got freedom of movement in this country as per our constitution.
Yeah. What kind of action will you take as an industry on those companies that conducted themselves in a way that is not in acceptable standards? I know that you say as you continue with investigation, you will forward some of the information to the police, but will you be taking action from an industry perspective?
Quite correct. We have our own quasi-judicial process that we undertake. Private security companies are bound by a code of conduct in which they have to comply with. So once the investigations are completed, they've been notified of what the charges are against them. We will then be looking into the trials as well as the code of conduct inquiry. If they are found guilty, they may be withdrawn, they may be suspended in the process, there may also be a fine that is imposed against them.
Yeah. I want us to talk broadly as we wrap up around public order policing, because that is something that the police are trained for. And I wonder if private security have that kind of training. In other words, is it wise to call on private security on instances where there is public violence? Or if you do that, then it's going to be inevitable then that there are people that may lose their lives?
Well, Clement, currently the law in South Africa is that the public order policing is the sole domain of the police and the competence of the police. So there are no trained private security companies that deal with public policing, nor is it legal for them to do so. But we are aware that in some instances where they find themselves unable to deal with the situation, they take action to try to repel crowds and so on. But that part of the action it can only be done within the law as long as they are protecting the property of their clients. They are not legally allowed to do public order policing.